How we doing?
We back.
Another one. Welcome back to Hot Route Fantasy, episode number 4. We're just rolling with the fantasy content, staying on track, staying on
Chugging
schedule.
along.
Yep. New board bet. We on the last show, right? We did Justin Fields versus DJ Stroud, fantasy finish. We got to get one between us, right?
We mentioned it. We didn't write it.
Still
It's official now.
haven't updated the board with our other bets within our league, but I will figure that out at some point. Still nothing else on the wall. I told you there would be last time. Gotcha.
You thought.
Yeah. I actually was about to order some stuff today. I didn't tell you, some shelves and maybe some other things that could house these little guys up here that are just sitting on the table. But we'll get there.
Executive producer doing executive producer thing.
Sure. All right. So like I said, episode 4, we just had, our last episode we had was our quarterbacks and tight ends. We'll link that. You guys check that out. We didn't go much into the tight ends, but quarterbacks we spent a lot of time on. Reiterating again, we'll be playing a super flex lead. So the 2 quarterbacks, that second quarterback where we can start one, it's important to us. So we talk a little bit more about who you can start at your QB2, and then also with just regular standard leagues as well when you're starting one quarterback, who we're trying to target. We also have a Twitter. This is the first time we're mentioning on the show. Our X Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't. That's definitely more of Matt's profession. But the alias is Hot Route Show. So Matt will be on there telling you guys when there's new episodes. We'll put up polls. I think we had one up there for our mock drafts to see who get you guys' feedback on who had the better draft. So we'll link that as well in the description. So today we'll talk about news, and we're doing the rest of our rankings. So running backs and receivers. We don't have as much news to talk about today because we went over all the preseason games and kind of the bigger headlines last time. But we do have some good ones that we just added before we hit record. So we'll start there. Jordan Love had a procedure on his left thumb, his non-throwing hand.
Don't matter.
Yeah, we both have Love ranked fairly high. I mean, he's definitely in that QB1 consideration, an off year last year, but the year before, was that his rookie? No, it wasn't his rookie year. It was his first full season. Kind of took the league by storm, got to the playoffs without an alpha one receiver or number 1 receiver, but definitely something to monitor there. It's his non-throwing hand, so how bad could it really be?
Yeah, coach already said he'll practice next week. That's the plan.
My boy James Cook, he's back. He's back at practice, but with no contract.
Yeah, we'll see, because the coach McDermott said things have changed. So I don't know if there's a behind the scenes.
I love the coach speak in the
behind the scenes promise of like the contracts coming or what that means, but maybe somebody was just like, "Hey man, Kyron got 11.
You're not him, bro.
We're not giving you 15."
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I mean he's definitely one of my favorite players for whatever reason. I just like him because he's an explosive guy. He's fun to watch, but yeah, in this situation, especially if they didn't have Ray Davis, he might have a little bit more leverage there. But when he missed a game last year, Ray Davis just came in and kind of picked up right where he left off. I'm pretty sure he had I forget who they played. It was a Monday night game, but he had over 20 carries, almost 100 yards, was just running down the throat of whatever team they were playing. So he's definitely capable. But we want to see Cook back out there because that's good for fantasy. Hello, it's future me. James Cook actually did sign his contract the morning after we recorded this, 4 years, $4 to $8 million. So wanted to throw that in there because obviously we were going to be recording times and things with the news will happen when we're not recording, or we might post things 2 days after the recording. So yeah, he's there. And I don't think it changes the ranking for him really at all for us, because I think we've kind of just had him in the spot where he should be, assuming that he was never really going to miss time going into the season. So that's it. Adios. A couple of injuries. We got Stafford missing practice again with his back, and this just kind of sucks for Puka lovers and Devontae Adams lovers out there, and because you don't want Jimmy G throwing passes to those guys.
Well, Devontae doesn't want Jimmy G.
Yeah, I
The
selfishly, I think our whole group would selfishly kind of want to see what would happen there because he, going back to the wide receiver doc on Netflix, he kind of behind the scenes, or not even behind the scenes,
on scene.
on field, just shitting on Jimmy G. So that would be fun to watch. And then Malik Neighbors missed practice with the same toe injury that he had last year. Toe injuries suck.
Them toe injuries.
Yeah. Sneaky up there on the scale of injuries that suck.
That's what forced Patrick Willis to retire. Great Niner linebacker. Everyone was just like, a toe?
Yeah. But then you just can't run or can't cut, do anything. Tajay Spears is out for the rest of the preseason with an ankle. This one kind of sucks for him specifically because I feel like he hasn't really had a chance to kind of show, maybe in like a couple games here and there, what he can do. And I mean, they're basically going to be in the same split with him and Pollard this year. But I think this, although it sucks for him, I think it kind of boosts Pollard's stats a little bit, or his stock going into the season. Myles Garrett, this is the first time I'm looking at these things that you put in here, but Myles Garrett was pulled over Saturday morning driving 160 mile an hour zone.
Chill, my guy.
I'm no cop, but yeah, that doesn't seem great. $250 fine.
Yeah, and if he doesn't pay it, if he doesn't pay it, he has to go to court.
$250.
Yeah,
great.
It's also worth mentioning that's like his fourth time being pulled over while on the team. He had one really bad one where he wrecked. He got into an accident, and I think he flipped his car. So, dude just likes speeding down the highway, I guess.
Just chill, brother. You ain't got nowhere to be in Cleveland anyway. The GM commented saying they spoke with Myles and they are not happy. Moving on. Alexander Mattison, season-ending neck injury.
That one sucks.
After getting injured in the preseason game. So for those keeping track, Mattison has jumped around the league a little bit, was on the Vikings, then went to the Raiders, and now on the Dolphins. So kind of just hurts their depth a little bit. They still have Jalen Wright there, so maybe a little handcuff situation with HN.
Yeah, I think they'll be adding somebody for sure.
Sure. So we'll keep an eye on that. Kyle Shanahan, our favorite coach, says they are eyeing week 6 for a Brandon Ayuk return.
Yeah, that seems farther than I thought initially. Like, I don't know. There was some rumors, like, could he be ready? But then the latest update I saw was chances are he lands on the PUP. And I think with the PUP,
it's 3 weeks, right? Or 4?
I think you have to miss a minimum, or you could be like activated after the 3rd.
I think it's 3.
There's some weird things, but then there's like a window period, right? Where
you have to play, I think, after that, or else you have to go.
You have to, like, the first window is like you have to be activated within X amount of days.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're activated, I think you have to like play within like 21 days or something like that.
I was going to say 20 something days, 21 or 24, something like that. But yeah, no, this just adds to the Niners' slew of injuries. Seems like Kittle and McCaffrey.
Every fucking year.
Yeah. Seems like Kittle and McCaffrey are the only ones.
What's going on that practice field?
Just relax over there. We don't need any more injuries.
Hire a freaking strength and conditioning coach.
Hire something. Hire someone. Eagles guard Landon Dickerson suffered a meniscus injury, set for a small procedure with the hopes he might be ready for the season opener, but is considered week to week. So one of the top offensive lines in football suffered a little injury there.
Yeah, it was scary at first, and then they were just like, oh, he's just getting a slight little procedure done, and they already think that he should be ready for the season opener.
That's all we got. You got anything else before we jump into these rankings? We're going to start with running backs.
Shout out our boys.
Yeah, shout out the boys. We're kind of slowly introducing this podcast everywhere. We wanted to get a couple episodes on the book. Shout out Tim from Safeway.
Yes.
We've been wanting to shout you out for a while. My partner here promises to clean up the back stock a little bit more.
Don't look at me. I could look at your order writer. Yeah, but I was so speaking of Tim and that store, I was just busy all day, going store to store. Didn't really check my phone. Obviously, there's days, you probably have them, when you're busy at work and you see the group chats popping off for like 38 messages and you're just like, do I want to read these now? And I didn't even read them. I didn't get off till after 5. I got home. I saw what you texted me. And then I think you were just like, oh, check the chat or something like that. and the boys are watching. So
Yeah, we weren't really trying
love
to
it.
we weren't really trying to keep it a secret. We are just trying to get some episodes out there and get kind of comfortable with editing and when the days we're gonna post. But
Shout out the boys, girls too.
hell yeah, a lot of support coming. We love it. All right. Yeah, even though the girls probably just don't literally care about anything we're talking about, but they're there for us.
Getting Baby Zulu and football talk early.
Holy shit.
Let's get into the rankings.
All right. We got the running backs. We're doing the top 24. We're going to go running backs and receivers. We'll do the top 24 of each. And then we got a couple notes at the end about the biggest differences. And then we got whoever didn't make the list. We'll kind of mention a few guys that could potentially look out for at the later parts of your draft. All right. So from the bottom,
That's right. We go to the bottom.
DeAndre Swift, number 24. 23, Aaron Jones. 22, Joe Mixon. David Montgomery. Breece Hall. Chuba Hubbard. Rookie Omarion Hampton, which still figuring things out about him as we're getting in here, watching more highlights, watching the hype at camp with all the Najee stuff going on. When I did these rankings, this was about a few weeks ago, and I am definitely going to be moving him up. Spoiler, as we kind of get into the regular season here.
Yeah, we'll rearrange these. I think for me specifically, like it was kind of like when you're doing a paper and like you do a rough draft.
Yeah, for
This is
sure.
just to like see how I'm feeling about the guys, and then as we get closer to draft, which is coming up, I think they'll change.
Like, who do you really want? You put the rankings on the sheet, but will you take Alvin Kamara over one of these guys?
That's the thing. I put the rankings at like where I genuinely think they'll finish.
Yes. That's
But
different
then
than where
there's,
you'll
then
draft.
there's my rank where it's just like I don't want you.
Yeah, no matter what.
I have you at 8, and I don't want you. All right.
So we had Hampton at 18, and then Isaiah Pacheco 17. We talked about him a lot on the last couple episodes. Alvin Kamara, James Conner, Ken Walker, James Cook, Kyron Williams, Bucky Irving, Ashton Genty from the Raiders, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, Chase Brown at 7.
Like that.
Where we've come in a year. Devon Achane at 6, Derrick Henry at 5, Saquon Barkley at 4, Jahmyr Gibbs at 3,
Where's CMC?
our boy CMC at number 2,
Oh, there you go.
and Bijan Robinson at number 1.
Bijan.
I am not.
Dijon.
I think I'm just going to keep saying Bijan. It's been too long. Should have corrected everyone earlier. But the biggest differences we had was these are our consensus rankings, and I did my rankings, Matt did his. With the running backs, we were pretty close across the board. The biggest difference we had was 3 spots, and then, or besides Josh Jacobs, I had at 7. You had him at 11. Then everybody else was 3 spots or less. So I'll just kick it off with Josh Jacobs. I think he finished as running back 5 last year in our league, if I'm not mistaken. He led the league in touchdowns, if not was top 3 for sure. It was like him, King, Saquon, and Gibbs.
I think it was.
And Cook was up there.
Yeah, I think it
in
was.
no particular order.
There was a 3-way tie. I think it was Jacobs, Gibbs, and I don't know who that third guy was. But yeah, one of those guys.
Right. The reason why I have him still in the top 10 is just, they kind of figured out once they get into the red zone, the Packers, it didn't, where loved 2 years ago was kind of gunslinging, a lot of touchdowns, things like that. Jacobs, once they got into the red zone, they just found a formula with Jacobs. And, you can talk about touchdown regression, but I think they found something that worked last year. And I don't foresee them changing a lot, I guess, especially in the red zone Jacobs also had a slow start last year as well. I believe for like the first quarter of the season, he was definitely not the guy he was midway, and then the last kind of quarter of the season.
A couple games there where Love didn't play either, right? He got hurt in Brazil, right?
Yeah, he played the first game. I think he got hurt in the last play of the game.
It was I think it looked way worse than what it turned out to be.
Yeah,
I think a dude fell on like the back of his leg or foot or something.
It was on like the Hail Mary. I remember that, and it was on.
That was the Brazil game, right?
Yeah,
Eagles.
Yep, literally the last play of the game, and I think he missed maybe 2 or 3 games after that.
It was
Malik Willis was in.
I think we all thought it was going to be like a 6-week thing.
Right. So my point is Jacobs, like he was also coming onto a new team as well. So it's not like he just had no juice, or I think they were kind of just figuring things out. And then once the season got rolling, Jacobs was just that guy that he had been basically his whole career, except the year prior where he came into the season late. Because remember, he had the contract thing too, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 2023. So I still think he's a top guy. He's like that borderline guy I think we were just talking about before the show, like which one of these guys we want or comfortable, which ones would be comfortable having as our running back one. I think he's probably the line for me.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you got him at 7, I got him at 11. But at the same time, my guys that are 6, 7 through that number, it's like that's a tier where I feel like they're interchangeable. So it's like, yeah, I have them at 11, but they're borderline guys that I want. I don't necessarily want, but I'm fine if they're my only my RB1. But yeah, it's just my only reasoning was I think that touchdown total comes down,
which is fair. It was a big number. I think it was like 16,
yeah,
15, 16, something like that. So that was really the biggest one that we had. Just kind of looking at the list here, Bijan, we both have Mab 1. We're not really scared of anything there. Obviously, they're going to have a big change in the offense with most of the year, last year being Cousins and this year with Penix. But, as Bijan has kind of Bijan, whatever. Bijan, this is his third year now, right? He's definitely taken more and more snaps away from Algier, where he basically was really good his rookie year and is slowly giving more and more carries to Bijan. So,
because Arthur Smith was gone last year, right?
He went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's his third year.
Basically, so McCaffrey is someone where if everything goes right for him, he's probably going to be close to, if not the RB1. I think Bijan is just kind of a safer version of McCaffrey.
It's the same thing I just said. My 1 through 4, which you actually have McCaffrey a spot above me, and I say I'm all in on McCaffrey. I have Gibbs at 2.
I was surprised to see that, actually.
But my 1, 2, 3, 4 guys can all finish 1. So it's like interchangeable. It just happens to be my preference where, like, if I had the first, well, not the first pick, but if I'm picking and none of the running backs are off the board, I'm going Bijan.
Right.
And I'm actually like, I put Gibbs 2 and I put CMC 3. I don't even know why, but because I'm probably taking CMC after. If Bijan's gone and CMC's there, I'm likely taking CMC. And it's no slight to Saquon in the year he had last year. I think we're kind of on the same page with that. Where
he still ranked really high.
That's what I mean. So it's like, just because he finished where he finished last year, and then we have him like, oh, you have him all the way at 4. It's just like, all those guys are interchangeable.
Yeah. Even Henry down at 5 because he was so good last year. I think any one of those 5.
Yeah. What if Henry just goes out there and catches like 40 balls or something like that? That'd
40 balls?
Insane.
They just completely change everything. I love Henry. I've turned on him so much
because Keaton Mitchell's look good.
I guess, but when Henry was in Tennessee, you brought up the pass catching, and just some of those Tennessee offenses just did not excite me at all.
They had a really good line.
Yeah, we talk on about red zone and watching your players play. It's just whenever they show the Giants or the Titans or the Browns, like, you never want to check into those guys because most of the time what they're going to show is going to be like a turnover or something. But with the Ravens, it just seems like every time, they have the ball, Henry's going to have a chance to score because Lamar's going to get them all the way down there.
I mean, he's your best goal line back in the league, too.
Yeah, and then Henry's just going to fall into the end zone. So even though he's old, I still think he's going to be productive.
It was weird. Justice Hill was out there a lot.
He caught a lot of passes.
Every 2-minute drill was Justice Hill. Mm-hmm. I mean, if Henry got stuffed on first 2 downs, Justice Hill came strolling on out. So it's like, I feel like as compared to like Saquon, I mean, Gibbs is the same too with Montgomery, but Bijan and Saquon, even Achane. I mean, Achane was a 3-down back. Chase Brown. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like Henry could have been out there a lot more too.
Right. No, I agree. And then just one more thing, just kind of getting out of this top tier. We talked about McCaffrey a lot. I mean, just going to hit the nail on the head again. He's definitely one of the biggest question marks of the fantasy offseason. And where I've seen, as I'm looking through rankings amongst other websites, podcasts, things like that, he's definitely a little bit lower. I think our thought process with McCaffrey is this is where, if all things go right, he will finish. He will be a top 2. He'll be a top 3 guy. He'll be the number 1 guy. Now it's up to you to call your shot and take the risk. Because we're not going to be putting him at 10 because there's
what are you factoring in that?
It's just a weird kind of place to put him because he's either going to be top 3 or he's going to miss 8 games plus 10, 12 for whatever reason if something happens. So that's just the thought process there.
It's also got dad strength now.
Yeah, you brought up
baby.
Yeah,
so.
you brought up the interviews that you've seen with him and of just how not tuned into the fantasy stuff he is, not hearing what people say. He's like, I show up to work every day, put the time in, get my body right. I'm like, that's all you really want to hear. So once again, one of the biggest gambles in fantasy, but you play to win. You don't play to get 5th. So kind of moving into the next tier of guys, you mentioned Achane. I'm super in on him this year. I've talked about him a few times throughout our fantasy episodes. I'm pretty comfortable with him being my running back 1, where last year he seemed pretty scary of a pick. Played 17 games last year. I think he missed 1 with a concussion, or he got smacked or something happened. Not the wind. I think the wind got knocked out of him or something, but played 17 games. I think
it was concussion because he came back with the Guardian cap.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So I'm super happy with him as my RB1. Chase Brown is someone who, started the season last year as a timeshare with Zach Moss. Now seems to have the role to himself, basically Austin Eckler 2.0. That's what we're calling him. And that Cincinnati offense, it's just, you want a piece of that offense. And if he's going to be out there 2 to 3 downs, they have Samaje Perine, but how much work is he really going to take away from him? I mean, Perine's pretty old at this point, just kind of there as a depth piece. But I think we're both in on Chase Brown.
Yeah, that's a weird one because I think Perine over the last few years has been like the passing down running back, but it's just like
it's kind of Chase Brown's thing.
Yeah, Chase Brown can do that probably even better. So I mean, he might. Samaji's bigger, so maybe they'll like him out there for pass blocking. So maybe with certain plays like that.
I mean, same thing with Henry. I mean, obviously they're way different players, but he's just gonna have so many opportunities to score, especially if he's the guy from day 1.
Yeah, I don't have this in front of me. I don't know if you remember how many weeks was it Zach Moss?
I would say at least the first quarter, maybe closer to the first half.
If you add those in, Chase Brown's like a top 7 running back.
Yeah, if you're telling me we get into week 4 of this season and Chase Brown is RB3, am I going to be surprised? Probably not. I don't know. But having it at 7, I feel like is a fair price. Jacobs, we talked about. Jonathan Taylor, I think we both like. Obviously, the quarterback situation in Indy is a mystery, but we saw at the end of that last year, Jonathan Taylor basically took a lot of fantasy teams and put him on his back with a couple 30-point plus games.
That was a weird end of the year. It just gave him the rock.
And said, just finish this out. Finish the season out. So I think he still has potential to be a top guy. Obviously, explosive plays are his thing. The long touchdown runs, things like that. And with him, it's just health too. Because when he's out there, he's basically a top guy. I know injuries have been a little bit of a problem for him. He was the running back 1, I believe, in 2021. So
easy schedule too, playing in that division.
Love that division for defense, streaming against those defenses. And then getting out of the top 10, we got Ashton Jeanty. So this is a good example of, at least for me, he's going to be at 10 because of just sheer volume. He was a top 5, 5th pick, 6th pick, something like that. So huge draft capital from the Raiders. I don't foresee me taking him in any of my leagues. As just far as height goes, I know I've talked to you about this before with Bijan coming out when he was drafted, Zeke back in 2017, Saquon. I feel like he's just not, in my opinion, he's just not those guys. I could be wrong, but once again, in the first rounds,
Zeke was sick to start his career.
Yeah, in the first rounds, I like to get more of a for sure thing. So I brought up McCaffrey. Usually I'm not the person to do that. I like to get a few safe guys and then shoot for more upside later. So Jeanty won't be on my teams. I'm fairly certain. Where are you? I know we've kind of talked about him a lot, but where's your current status on him?
Yeah, I think it depends on the league. We obviously have
Dynasty, of course.
We obviously have a good amount of Raider fans in our groups and in our league. So I think that could affect it honestly in a positive way, because I feel like if you are picking maybe towards the end of the first or I guess the second, I should say, like
It would probably be on the end of the first round. That 1-2 turn is where he's going to be going in most leagues.
I don't really foresee him on any of. Well, he'll be on my dynasty team, but I don't really foresee me drafting him either. It's not really but it's not necessarily like how you said, because I want a safe guy. I don't know what it is.
A lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
And he's a Raider.
He's a Raider.
Great analysis there, but
I don't think their line is good. It's just, but with that being said, I mean, like I think I've mentioned in a prior episode, brought in Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator, brought in Pete. Pete loves the running backs. Chip Kelly's had very good running backs as a coordinator or coach, college and pro ball.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the part that's still sticking with me, like, man, because he can catch the ball. Like, he's was he 5'8" or whatever, but he's
built,
jacked.
Yeah, but definitely a 3-down build for sure. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, he's going to be a guy everyone's going to be looking at the beginning of the season. He's going to be a panic guy or like a yes, like I did it.
So if you go down our consensus, like at what point do you answer the question, or you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, I'd rather have Genty?
Like what round would I take?
Like if you're looking at the guys below him,
like actually,
like you have him at 10, but would you rather have Bucky?
I think standalone.
You'd rather have James Cook, your boy?
I'd definitely rather have Kyren. I think Kyren has proven himself to be. I just didn't answer anything you just asked, but Kyren has proved like he's solidified in that offense. Talk about a 3-down guy in the red zone. Doesn't catch passes, but he's really reliable.
He's another small guy.
Yeah, he's small,
but he's like the goal. I don't know. Like Corum scored 2 in the preseason. Isn't Corum kind of small too?
He's small from Michigan. Bucky's a good one, and Cook is a good one. I say I have him at 10. I'd rather have Kyren for sure. Bucky and Cook are both question marks. I would honestly even put, like, I'm really high on Kenneth Walker. If he just plays a full season, I think he's going to be good, not better than Genty. But I think that he's probably appropriately priced because Connor, Kamara, Pacheco.
Say you had one of those first 9 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be your RB2.
Yeah. I'd be fine with him as my 2.
Over those guys below?
I'd rather have Kyren, but I think...
and
maybe Ken Walker.
I was going to say, you've been in on Ken.
Yeah, Kyren and Ken, I would love to have them, if not equally, if more than Genty, but that's probably the line. Because James Cook, I would say yes, but there's just a lot of negative things going on with him right now. Obviously, a way better offense. If he's out there, when you talk about workload, Genty is going to see double the workload of Cook if they pretty much run the same plan out there. The Bills I'm talking about with Ray Davis and Ty Johnson. But
see way more receiving work.
Yeah, I don't know. Genty's the volume play. That's pretty much what he is. Because he's going to go out there. He's going to have some shitty efficiency games, I'm sure, throughout the season with the Raids. But he's going to catch a lot of passes. He's going to be out there. He's going to be the goal line guy. He's going to be everything you want. So it just comes to maybe the offenses is what I'm looking at. So Kyren for sure. Ken Walker, sure. I would take him over him. But he's right there with the other guys. Bucky, Cook. But I wouldn't want him as my running back 1. Definitely. So we're going to the other guys here a little bit. Bucky, Kyren, Cook, Ken Walker, James Conner. All these guys are just super solid. I don't think there's really, Conner, same thing when he plays. He's really good.
Yeah, I've always liked Conner.
Watching a lot of Cardinals last year, it just seems like he's always involved. He catches passes.
He can catch the ball.
He's old. He's still breaking a bunch of tackles. Pacheco we talked about on I think it was the mock draft episode, where we were both questioning his ADP, but after thinking about it a little bit more, he should be fully good to go coming into this year. I think the biggest thing is just how are they going to use Kareem Hunt? Because obviously he was, when Pacheco was gone, Hunt was really good. I think he was probably like one of the best waiver wire pickups last year.
Yeah, I had him.
Yeah, out of everything that you could have gotten. So is Pacheco going to get out there and maybe they split drives? It's like a little
Well, I think
Detroit situation.
the uncomfortable part too is that Hunt's going to be the goal line guy.
You think so?
Yeah, he was. I mean, Hunt was the goal line. Like they had Hunt in Cleveland when they'd be in the red zone over
Right.
Chubb, and then Hunt's the passing down guy. Hunt can probably pass block better. So I think, yeah, if they're down at that, unless it's like a hurry up and like Pacheco's just already in, but I feel like if they got like a first down, I think Hunt is he's the red zone target as far as giving the ball to. Just a bigger guy.
And then getting into the last tier here, Amarian Hampton. Once again, I think we're both kind of rising on him. And as we see that when Najee was brought in, obviously they didn't foresee the fireworks thing happening. So I think now where maybe it would have been more of a split or maybe like leaning towards Najee in the beginning of the year, seems like everyone just loves him and he kind of maybe has the job already.
Something to do with rookies too, man.
Yeah, the uncertainty.
They're just exciting.
Yeah, exciting. And especially with they want to run the ball there with Jim Harbaugh. But so he would be a guy I would love to have him as my RB2, and maybe I would take him over Pacheco, Kamara for sure. Connor, I mean, one of the oldest guys and one of the youngest guys. I might go the rookie there just to kind of see, because we know what Connor is. When he's available, he's good, but
yeah, I think it just depends on roster construction.
Yeah,
for me.
Yep.
Like if I got a guy like CMC,
right?
And you mentioned it earlier, which I always play this way, but like I try and, I mean, you obviously play to win, but I think guys like a CMC pick, maybe even guys like a Ken Walker pick, Achane last year, like those are the picks. Like if you're gonna win, those are the guys that you're calling your shot on. So I feel if I did have a CMC, maybe I would lean more of a Connor as my RB2.
A little more stability, a little more
Kyren for sure. I like Kyren. Sure. Yeah, just
I feel that
to balance it out.
And then getting into the bottom of the top 24 here, guys that all have had good years, but a few question marks. Chuba Hubbard with the addition of Rico Dowdle.
Hey, the only one you really like to see there is Montgomery, because I feel like you just know he's going to be a part of a good offense, and his coach loves him, and they were splitting drives last year.
I mean, last year, you say that last year, I remember I think the Lions were the first game of the season. And Gibbs had all the hype coming in. He was the higher draft pick. In the first drive, here comes David Montgomery just running out there. It's like he's the starter. So I think they're going to slowly give Gibbs more and more work. But Montgomery's still going to be there. He's still going to be a goal line threat. So he might be a guy that you talk about RB2s. He's probably on the lower end of the RB2s. But if you wait and maybe load up on a couple more positions, maybe some star receivers and a really good running back or quarterback, and just slide him into your RB2 way later, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these RB2s, like they're going to have weeks where they give you RB1 numbers.
Well, Mixon right below him, he was damn near the RB1 for the first.
I don't know what it is with Montgomery, though. Like, my opinion has changed on him over the years. I didn't really like him in Chicago.
Well, the offense wasn't as fun.
And, yeah, I don't know. After seeing him...
He's a tough runner.
Playing alongside, yeah. Not only that, but I remember watching games last year where I thought he was just that. I thought he was just kind of like a straight up the middle bruiser type. But, I mean, he
could bounce it.
Yeah, for sure. He had some shifty moves in a couple games that I saw, and I was just like, dude, this guy's a starting running back on any other team.
Yeah, so for running back twos, he's a sneaky guy that you can kind of, like I said, wait on a little bit. If you throw him in as your RB2, I don't really think you're going to be upset.
I think in our mock, I got him as my RB3. I was just like, oh, I love that.
Yeah. And then Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift. Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift are kind of gross, but they're starting.
Very gross.
What is it?
Very gross.
Yeah, the starting running backs on the teams that they'll have good weeks. I know DeAndre Swift had a couple weeks last year where he was good, but they have the potential to put up a couple duds for sure.
Jones was actually pretty consistent last year.
Yeah, another year older. He's getting up there.
But, yeah, he's injury prone.
And then Mixon, he's a tough one because he was damn near, like I said, the RB1 versus, like, it was halfway through the year, I think. Then he missed a few games, and even now, I think he's dealing with an injury. So if he wasn't dealing with that injury, I think he'd be a little bit higher. but he's another guy where if you get him and he comes back and is just the guy who he was last year, he's going to return a lot on that draft value for sure. So that's all of our top 24. There's some other guys that we wanted to bring up before we move on to the receivers. Where's my list here? Tony Pollard's a big one. We didn't have him in our top 24, but if this Tajay news,
I did.
Because did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I for sure need to put like I said, I did this a few weeks ago. So I think he might be in my I probably would put him ahead of Swift. Just off the top of my head right now. But if Tajay's not there and he kind of takes all 3 downs, he's going to be a super valuable late pick. And then Travion Henderson, our guy from the Pats who returned the kickoff for the touchdown, he's going to have some explosive plays. Caleb Johnson's another rookie. Brian Robinson on the Manders, not a sexy pick at all, but talk about good offenses. He's going to have chances to throw him in your lineup, and he might have as good of a chance to score a touchdown as anybody on the goal line. RJ Harvey, rookie for the Broncos, kind of a wait and see there with Dobbins and Estime. And
that one's weird. I don't know. I feel like we're not giving him enough love, possibly. But
well, it's just a lot of guys there. Then Dobbins if they didn't bring Dobbins in, he had a great year last year. So who's to say he doesn't come in and does, do the same thing as he kind of did. But he's a wait and see for sure. But he's going, I think he's going later in drafts. Like you don't have to spend like an Omarion Hampton level pick on this guy. So he's a guy you can just throw on your bench and kind of wait and see. We got the 3-headed monster in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, monsters.
3-headed infants, 3-headed baby
Jags.
Yeah. So that's just a gross situation. Same with the Browns. Just guys you don't want to talk about.
I do want them on. I like what I'm hearing from about Tootin, the rookie on Jacksonville. It's interesting because
I feel like that job's up for grabs.
ETN just went. You mentioned it, I think, in one of our mocks or one of the mocks, maybe
top of the world to the
RB3,
top 5.
Yeah, top 5, and then like small injuries here and there. Then I feel like maybe he fumbled a couple times, and that got him in the doghouse. And Bigsby came in a couple times and just seemed way more
explosive.
Yeah, explosive.
Mm-hmm. I think it was that.
And then they tried throwing the ball to Bigsby, and he can't catch for shit. So they were like, "Oh man, now we got to go back to ETN."
Was it that London game that Bigsby came in and ETN was on the sideline most of that game? That's kind of when they made the change. Basically, what we're saying is, whoever can show up in the first quarter of the season and make an imprint on the offense, and whoever Liam Cohen.
Yeah, it's a new coach. That's the other thing. I think
like they're gonna go with them.
I think that issue last year was with
Doug.
Yeah, I think he just didn't know.
And then who else we got here? The Giants running backs, Tyrone Tracy, who was good last year, and then Scattaboo, your boy Scattaboo. I don't really have much to say about them, to be honest. They're kind of just there. We talked about this. I'm not excited about watching the Giants at all. I'm kind of just out on everybody there.
Yeah, 5.5 win total. They have the hardest schedule.
Tough division.
I was reading their first 9 weeks or whatever. Like they could be 0-9. So I mean,
gross.
I don't know. Tracy's isn't only his second year, so it's kind of
I mean, he's good. He had moments last year where he was like pretty valuable.
They might just split eventually.
I need to see more of Scattaboo before I kind of make my. We'll see as the first couple weeks of the season's passed.
Sick at ASU.
We'll check out the snap counts and see what happens there, because God knows.
Although he did have an injury, like
recently.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's back practicing or. So we'll see.
And then a couple of handcuff situations with Jordan Mason and Ray Davis. So obviously the Cook situation, we've talked about this already. Talk about a guy who's free or at the back of your draft so you can just throw on your roster. And I don't foresee Cook missing time.
Well, you like what the coach said today, especially.
Yeah, especially with that coming out. Like he's going to be there, but especially if you have James Cook and you talk about handcuffs, I think throwing Ray Davis on your bench with the last pick in your draft, I feel is worth it.
I mean, you could say the same thing with Garendo or
I mean, some handcuffs are definitely more valuable than others. The Niners for sure. Whoever's back there just always seems to bring value. But we saw it last year with Ray Davis. He came in, like I said, and produced immediately. I think He had like 20 fantasy points in that game, that one game that he had the whole workload. And then Jordan Mason, you brought this up.
Yeah, just the younger guy. I mean, he was good last year when he took over for CMC.
Mhm. There's the example right
You
there.
mentioned Jones being older. I mean, especially if things go south for Minnesota.
Right.
Like, what's the point of still running Jones out there if you're...
It's more Aaron Jones, I think. He's getting there. He's getting to the end. So just looking at guys that you can just throw on your bench at the end of the season, and if they end up getting the job, obviously, like I said, some handcuffs will be more valuable than others. I think Mason showed that if he gets the opportunity in that offense, which should be good.
You mentioned Caleb Johnson, rookie.
I just skimmed over him. Yeah, I'm not excited about the Steelers, but Arthur Smith is there. Talk about running into the ground.
Well, so is Rodgers, and we know Rodgers likes to throw his opinion out there about everything.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'm not as excited about him as I am Hampton and obviously Genty. I don't know. I think I just foresee that situation in Pittsburgh just going awful. Like maybe DK doesn't get some targets one game. He starts complaining. Rodgers throwing hissy fits every game. Someone missed a block. But yeah, that's what Tomlin's there for. So guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The receivers, pulling it up real quick. Same thing here. Top 24. We'll go over. We have a couple more differences in opinion on a couple of these guys. So I'm going to skim through them really quick and then we'll talk about what we want to talk about. Number 24, we got Jameson Williams from the Lions. And then DJ Moore, Xavier Worthy, Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, my boy Garrett Wilson. Number 17. Seems low. Really low.
That's where you had him. Consensus.
We've had him at the same spot. Jackson Smith and Jigba at 16. Mike Evans, 15. Jacked up Marv at number 14. Which we just looked up his fantasy finish from last year. What was it, like 29, 30, 28, 29, 30? Come on, Marv. Come on, Kyler. T. Higgins, number 13. Lad McConkey at 12. Tyreek Hill at 11. A.J. Brown, 10. Malik Neighbors, 3 young guys here. Malik Neighbors, Drake London, and Brian Thomas Jr. at 9, 8, and 7. Puka Nacua, I guess he's young too. Amon-Ra St. Brown at 5. Nico Collins at 4. Justin Jefferson at 3. CeeDee Lamb at number 2. And Jamar Chase is our consensus number 1. What do you want to say?
I was thinking about when you said it for Marv, not to get off topic here, but it's like
we're on the right topic.
That's like he had a rookie season. Like,
yeah, a lot of hype. His ADP was way too high last year.
And he still put out over 800 yards, 8 tugs. Like from your rookie, it's just overlooked because you had Neighbors just pop off
and Brian Thomas. And
I mean, different position, but Bowers. So like you look at the rookies from last year, like they were just insane.
Yeah.
So it's tough to compare. I mean, we said it before. He had the same exact season as his dad, rookie year.
Literally the same.
Like the exact same.
Yeah.
So I think it's in today's world, it's like the demand and the expectation is just so much higher. Like we expect just out of the gate to be the best.
We've seen it like over the last, several years, rookies have came in and made more of an impact than I think they ever had, like going back to the Twins and definitely before that. So I think whenever, especially with all the info we have and social media and routes we see running in practice, like, oh my God, Marvin Harrison's just insane. He's going to have 1,500 yards and 25 touchdowns. So if you don't see that, then everyone's going to get upset. Especially last year, he was the first receiver drafted and out of the rookies being drafted in fantasy. So obviously he burned a lot of people.
Like if he wasn't a junior, I wonder what the outlook would be. If he didn't have a dad who was sick.
That probably has something to do with it, for sure. But as we get into some differences here, so one of the biggest ones we had was Terry McLaurin. We've talked about a little bit, but I have him at 21. You have him at 15. I think this is purely just because he was a top 10 guy last year. Had a lot of touchdowns. His touchdown to reception ratio is not high. So it basically, for when he caught the ball, he was scoring. A lot of this is the contract for me having him this low.
Terry was 6.
Yeah, no, he was great. So it's mostly the contract, a little touchdown regression is the only reason why I have him that low. And once again, it's like whenever I have someone low or like maybe a few spots lower than the consensus or maybe some other rankings, it's more so I just like the other guys better in front of him. So pull up my rankings here real quick. So I have McLaurin at 18. Or no, sorry, 21.
21.
So before him, I have, Garrett Wilson, Marv, McConkey, who else? DJ Moore. That's one we're going to talk about. It's just a lot of these guys I just like and would rather have over him because there's not as many question marks. So those are the only two reasons for me: the contract and the touchdown regression. That's it.
Yeah, the touchdowns. I mean, to be fair, I just said he was wide receiver 6 last year. We have him a full tier, full ranking behind where he finished. So I think that in itself is kind of how we truly, where for me personally, where I truly see him, I don't see him as a top 5 guy.
And you love Terry.
I mean, yeah, I part of it also is more football. Like it's, which I know we play fantasy, but he was there when, like, I think he just had a lot of potential and we missed out on some good seasons probably from him.
Just because of bad quarterback play.
But if you look at something I was doing earlier, if you look at the guys around him in fantasy, targets, receptions, yards, even, like he's just so much lower in those categories than all those guys. But then you look at the touchdowns and he's second in the league.
Yeah.
So I don't know, with Jaden, maybe Jaden taking an even bigger step in the passing. Like I think he only threw for like 3,400 yards. I know that's not their, like they want to run. I think ideally they want to do those quick passes. But I don't know, maybe I'm just wishful thinking. I want more targets and even more catches. I mean, I think he had 2 duds last year. Like duds where like he had like 3 targets. It's just like, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me because like all the other guys around him averaging like 8-9 targets a game.
What does the Debo addition do for him?
Depends on what Debo we get. If we get healthy Debo, motivated Debo, because I don't think he was either of those in the last year. I don't think it's just my opinion. I don't think he wanted to be there. I think Ayuk got the contract, and I think it rubbed him the wrong way because he was on his last year, and that's why they should have traded him 2 freaking years ago. But I think being motivated, being in a place where maybe he feels value now because he got a contract.
A team that wanted him.
Yeah, he got a team that actually wanted him. I think it can actually be a positive simply because those quick passes that I think they like doing, like it favors Debo. So I don't know. It just depends what Debo we get, but I think it could benefit Terry from maybe deeper balls.
Yeah, because they're kind of different players.
Yeah.
It's not like they're running the same routes. Terry's more of an explosive, deep post guy, and Debo, he's done it, but I think he's more of the short yak guy.
Yeah.
Like catch it and then
run after, for sure.
Or hand off and then run after the fact.
I don't know how much Debo's going to dip into that, like his raw numbers for Terry, like the targets, receptions, yards. I mean, he only caught 82 balls last year, Terry?
Yeah.
But he only had 117 targets. And you look at the guys around him, right below him, in 2 less games played, Malik Neighbors had 170 targets.
Well, yeah, different situation there where it's kind of like
CeeDee Lamb, 152, Drake London, 158. Like all these guys are getting 40 more looks than he is. So I think if they could bump that number up, Terry's talented. I mean, I know he's going to be 30, I think. He's going to turn 30 like right when the season starts, but I don't think he's ever been a guy that's been like injury plagued or anything like that.
He's definitely been his.
I just think he's talented, and really, this isn't bias or anything because I mean, yeah, I had him in my I had the stack last year, but it's not like my team was good or anything like that. But
no, I just know you've liked him.
Yeah, no, I like Terry simply because, but more on the football side because I think he's talented, and I think we got
robbed
of some good seasons.
Then we got, so that was a difference that we had. And then DJ Moore is another one where usually I'm on the other side of this. So this is going to be kind of weird. But I had him at 19 and you didn't have him in your top 24. So I brought up last episode that when I'm looking to get guys or I'm trying to make a decision between, a guy and another guy, what does their offense look like? What's their situation? What's the trajectory of their team? So I brought up the Dolphins. Who else? The Giants. Arrows pointing down. Red. Like,
You want guys on good teams.
I want guys on teams that are trying to get better, have made moves to get better, that have some exciting outlook for the season, especially when it starts. So we know what happened with the Bears last year. Talk about ADP drops. DJ Moore is going higher. I think Caleb had a little bit more hype last year. Roma Dunze, the rookie last year, he had some hype. DeAndre Swift, they just signed last year. So they're trying to make moves, and now they bring in Ben Johnson. Disappointed last year. Now they bring in Ben Johnson. Caleb, I'm just hoping for that second year leap. Doesn't have to be, amazing. Just has to be able to support a wide receiver one. We've seen DJ Moore do this with Justin Fields, who's not the most prolific volume passer we've seen. We've seen him have good years in Carolina, where I used to argue that he just wasn't a good player, but I've kind of turned on him a little bit, where he kind of makes the most of his situation, and where last year was a little bit more disappointing. I've seen this year that he's taken snaps in the backfield in practice, so they're just a lot of Ben Johnson-y.
Yeah, it's Ben Johnson.
Yeah, situations. So maybe just kind of force feed him the ball a little bit, put him in situations to do better than he did last year. I'd be okay with him as my wide receiver too.
Yeah, once again, I'll probably reiterate this a lot. I look at my rankings as tiers. I think you do too.
Mhm.
So I had DJ Moore. I think it was the next number. I think I had him like at 25 maybe, or somewhere around there. I mean, that would make sense because we have him.
I baited you as the host. So I wanted the top 24. So I already had more than the 24, but
DJ Moore, literally from where we're at, like DK and on, so 21, 22, 23, 24, like they're all interchangeable for me. There's guys that I like more for, like I like Worthy as an upside pick. I like JMO as an upside pick. DJ Moore, it's not really him. I would say it's more Caleb.
right.
And I don't think my difference from 25 to 20, like, am I fine with him as my wide receiver too?
He's like one of the last guys for me. He's in my, you talk about tiers. I have him. So the top 7 guys, I have kind of split out into 2 different tiers. And then I have a third tier of like 10 or 11 names. And he's in that one of just a bunch of guys that I'd be happy with as my 2. And he's right at the end. So it's not like I'm super high on him. I just kind of think that, Bears going up a little bit. So I would want a piece of that. And I don't think it's that much of an expensive draft pick to take a shot on him. So pulling everything back up here. Just looking. So we'll just look at as we wrap it up here, we'll just kind of go through, some of the top guys we talked about. Actually, we haven't really talked about Chase that much, but I think he's just the obvious.
You don't need to talk. Yeah.
Consensus one. There you go.
Although I brought it up to you, and I've heard this on multiple outlets. Outlets? That makes sense. There's not been a repeat wide receiver one.
No, yeah,
in
you told me this.
10 years. Take that.
Well, there's a lot of guys here that could do it. I'm looking at them.
Oh yeah.
You see Chase, CeeDee Lamb.
I think those top 6 guys
Justin
for
Jefferson,
me.
Nico Collins was the wide receiver one through 5 weeks last year with Stroud. Amon-Ra, I don't think can. He's more of like a safe PPR option.
Yeah, the Lions just, I brought this up to you too. Like I want to see Jameson, because Jameson Williams I think he's very talented. Yeah. Raw talent. But it's just like you can't have a JMO breakout, a Gibbs top 3, a Montgomery.
Yeah, everything has to go right.
It's just, and like you can't have, there's no way all those guys are going to finish as like one
with that hard schedule too.
Yeah. I think it's, we were just looking, is it like the second hardest? I think it's the second hardest because I was just like, yeah, let me see if Goff can
I love
do
the
that.
Lions. I mean, I'll say
Losing their coordinator.
that's what I was gonna say. It's like I'll support all these Lions, but we don't know what the loss of Ben Johnson's gonna be. Maybe they just have rolling out with the same thing, maybe a little less trick plays. I don't know. But no, I'm gonna like I said, he's been a top 5 guy the last 2 seasons, I believe, and he's right there again. But as far as finishing potential as the wide receiver 1, I don't know if he could do that. Puka, I think, could, as much as I weirdly will admit that. I think he's shown that he can just get insane amount of volume. And I've talked about Puka a couple times. The Stafford stuff scares me a little bit, where if he's out, I think Puka's value takes like a cut in half with Jimmy G or whomever is going to be in there next. And Stafford's a gamer. I mean,
Is it though? Debo was wide receiver 2 with Jimmy G as his quarterback.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. It's
There's a lot of running too, but
Puka won't be on any of my teams. I just love a lot of these receivers more than him. I think I'm definitely on the minority side there, but just something about how he came into the league. I think I've tried to figure out why I don't like him that much. It's just he just came out of nowhere. Like how did he just come into the NFL and just
I'll never forget
the best receiver
when I texted you. I don't even know if you remember, but in my other league, I was like, yo, this guy Puka Nacua
like 2 years
is
ago.
on waivers.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it was when everyone went in on like it was like week 2, and you were just like, no way.
That sounds like something I'd say.
And then he just was sick.
Yeah, I don't know. He literally, because you always have like a grasp on who.
What was that first game? Like 20 targets or some shit?
Was it week 1?
It was week 1.
I can't remember if Cup was there, but I remember seeing week 2 the game. I remember I didn't watch any of the games that day, and I woke up and I checked the stats, and I was like, Puka had 15 catches. I was like, what the fuck? Like, who is this guy? So I was like kind of annoyed in the sense I was like, how did no one see this guy coming? I think that's what's kind of annoyed me about him. Obviously, like I have him at number 6, so I clearly acknowledge now that he is very good. That's just kind of my story on Puka. But
was that 23?
Yeah, he was a rookie in 23.
I think maybe you're right. Maybe it was week 2. But I think
he had a good week. He had a good week 1.
Yeah, he was really good.
But I think maybe Cup got hurt or something, or like they just ran him back out there and just saw what happened. And I think he had like 15 catches.
It was versus the Niners. 15 for 147, setting a NFL record for most receptions
like, what the
by a
fuck?
rookie.
I kind of blame the NFL for that one, because how did everybody miss
So
it?
yeah, his first game he also had 10 and 100.
Yeah. So,
but I think that it was the target. He caught 15. I think he had like 22 targets or something like that. And I was
that's just Stafford. I think it's obviously he's good, but I think it has to do with Stafford as well. Like Megatron, Cooper Kupp, Puka, like they feed.
That's why I've always liked Stafford though.
He just feeds his number 1 guy.
Stafford's a dog.
Yeah.
Plays hurt.
So getting to the next guys we still like, guys I still think I would love as my wide receiver 1. Brian Thomas had him last year. Shout out BTJ. He's amazing. I don't think his situation is looking that much worse or that much better than last year. I don't think Hunter's going to eat into his targets that much, right?
The only thing I brought up to you, I don't remember if it was on or off camera, but I know when Trevor went out, like Mac Jones made him.
Fed him.
Yeah, fed him. Like where
he was better with Mac Jones.
Yeah,
than Trevor.
he had I think it was like a 10% difference in target share. Like he was around 20 with Trevor, and he was damn near like 30 with Mac Jones.
I think so. He had good games with Trevor too, but I think that with their running game being inept, Christian Kirk got hurt. I want to say they had someone else get hurt too, but I can't remember. Maybe Evan Ingram missed a couple games, or no, he might have been back at the end of the year.
He did miss.
Talking out of my ass, but what I'm saying, he was like the guy. He's still the guy, but they were just like, holy shit, we need to pass to somebody. Let's just throw it to this guy over and over again. And he super talented, super good deep ball guy, big body in the red zone. Love everything about Brian Thomas. And then Drake London, Malik Neighbors, AJ Brown, 3 guys that are sick. I brought up the Giants a lot as far as offenses that, once again, where's the trajectory looking with them? They're going to be having a quarterback carnival this year, and where that might not affect Neighbors that much because they're going to force feed him targets. I just don't want to watch. It's kind of my thing.
I was looking, so they're how do we word it in the football? Is it ADOT?
average depth of target.
I thought Neighbors was more of a deeper, but I guess with Dimers it makes sense. Like it was a lot of short passes.
He probably could do both. Like if he had a guy like Baker or Mahomes or Burrow that could air it out, I'm sure we would see a lot more deep guys.
Well, your boy BTJ was second highest.
He just
among those top guys. It was Jefferson, and then
talk about guys I watched a lot. Like I watched a lot of Jacksonville last year, and
sounds terrible.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time, right? But his touchdowns were like, he got a lot of red zone touchdowns, and the touchdowns that he had, the deep ones, he kind of just ran away. It wasn't like it was like a over the shoulder, 50-yard bomb touchdowns. He would kind of just catch it and run. It was more like yak with BTJ, where Neighbors showed last year he could be a monster in PPR, and I just don't think the explosive plays with him are there. Maybe with Wilson.
Russ has always had actually one of the best.
Maybe we could see a couple
balls,
couple deep ones with him.
I don't know
how that goes.
How his age and everything, but I mean, I always remember Russ for having just like one of the prettiest just to the moon, and it just drops right down in.
Yeah, I could probably be convinced either way of Neighbors right now. I think I would take London, BTJ, even AJ Brown. I would take, if it came down to a draft, I might take those three guys over him. But if he's there and someone gives me a good enough case, what you looking at?
Thinking of a little BB, a little board bet. But I think this is one that you already have with another league member.
With Neighbors?
You got a Puka BTJ, right?
Shit.
What's the Puka one? Oh, it's Garrett.
I think it's Garrett Wilson. I can't remember. I probably have a Garrett Wilson bet versus everyone.
How do you feel about a Puka versus Brian Thomas?
And I get BTJ.
Put him on the spot.
Just talked about Puka
Eric
a lot.
Loves this.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because give me Puka.
Yeah, I'll probably lose that one. And just show it in my face even more. But we'll put that one on there for next step.
Do I get an injury clause with Puka?
No. Fuck you.
If you play to win the game.
Yeah. No clause. So yeah, BTJ, London. We haven't really talked about him that much. I told
you I was in on London.
I'd love him as my wide receiver one. Maybe I go running back heavy with my first pick, and I get him on that turn and
Love's
the second round.
A little strong for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was a top 6, 7
he
guy.
Was, but
Penix?
With Penix, it's like I gotta see it.
Sure. I've seen a lot of highlights of them at camp hooking up on deep balls.
Yeah, with Cousins, what we've seen with Cousins, like whether it was with Jefferson.
Beads his guy.
Yeah, and Cousins is another guy where he doesn't give 2 Fs if he throws a pick.
Right.
He's going to his guy. Like he doesn't care. And I like that. So I don't know. It's time to we got to see with Penix.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I want to like the Falcons because I feel like
they have a lot of fun guys.
When Smith was there, it was a lot of like, what are we doing?
Gross. Yeah. But no, I'd love London as my one. I think I'm kind of solidifying. That's basically the question, right? It's just like, who would you are comfortable with as your running back or wide receiver one? Who are you comfortable with as your 2? Who could I put in my flex? And I think London would be in consideration for my one.
Where do you draw the line with Cheetah?
Tyreek as what?
Like when you're going him or him? Like at what point is it like, give me Tyreek? Because we both have him.
I think I'd take Tyreek over Ladd. Is that hot?
I think Tyreek's just one of those guys where it's just like, was last year an injury or was it his age showing? Like, has he lost a step?
It's a bunch of different things, I think. We've talked about, I think I brought up on the last episode that
if shit goes bad.
Well, talk about the arrow pointing down.
Yeah.
Bringing that up again. And then also, McDaniel can get fired if they start off 0-4 or whatever.
Tua could dive head first.
Yeah, that is always a thing that's happened multiple times. So obviously we have to kind of consider that at this point. And then I think it's just more, we didn't see many deep bombs from them last year. I think the defenses have kind of figured them out a little bit. And maybe that's why we've seen so much short stuff with Achane, like in the screen game, that the deep shift, the stuff just isn't there anymore.
Tyreek's A-dot was only 11
yards.
Yeah.
What was it in 23? Do you have that or no?
Well, I'm looking. One of the highest ones. I think it might be the highest, at least in those top guys. Because what's his name? Pierce was probably like way up there.
Alec Pierce.
Yeah, but I think as far as those top 20 guys, Jameson Williams, he's
Sure.
one of the highest
Mm-hmm.
at 17 for average depth of target.
So basically, what you're saying is the Dolphins did not take as many shots.
Tyreek was 15, so a 4-yard drop dip.
Yeah. So that definitely matters. That's one of the biggest parts of Tyreek's game, and the short stuff is basically exclusive for Achane at this point. So we got to see what the Dolphins.
They did lose Jonnu. We mentioned that for whatever
Sure.
reason, Tua loved him.
Yeah, he kind of came out of nowhere. He started out the season not really relevant at all, and then I think he finished as a top 5 tight end or something.
Off
stupid.
topic, but I think I mentioned it because we didn't even bring him up in our tight ends. There's some sites rating him high.
With
Jonnu.
Rodgers, because he's in Pittsburgh now.
Like I've seen top
Yeah, I'm good.
8. And I'm just like,
When have we ever seen Rodgers throw to the tight end a lot?
you
feel
said
like-
that.
I feel like never. So why start now? Moving on. So we got. Oh, you asked me about Tyreek. So I take him over Ladd. I definitely take him over T. Higgins. Fuck that guy. He's burned me so much. Marv.
Like I have him ahead of all those guys you just said.
Yeah. I might take him over Marv. Because you said the talent's still there.
Once again,
The-
roster construction. If I'm taking a shot on CMC, do I want to take?
Another shot on Tyreek.
Yeah, like
Makes
I
sense.
think Tyreek is a kind of go all in type.
He's the CMC of receivers.
Right. So if you, I mean, he's gonna. Just depends on your league, I guess, but I would imagine he's going to be drafted as a wide receiver too in our league. If I had to guess,
He'll be one of the first ones, I think.
So yeah, if I can, I think in our mock I had him as a wide
Yeah, you
receiver
had,
too. So if I can get him at wide receiver 2,
You had Nico as your 1, and then you had Tyreek as your 2. So if I had that, I'd be happy for sure.
and I had CMC.
Yeah.
So I'm going against what I'm saying here, but
No, I get what you're saying.
but I got him at my wide receiver 2. That's the difference
Yeah.
there. If I have CMC,
I wouldn't want him as my 1.
Yeah, if I have CMC and I back it up with Tyreek, I'm really
Yeah.
it's like I'm literally going
First or last.
all or nothing. But if you get him as your wide receiver 2, I think it's the same thing though. So would you rather have Ladd as your wide receiver 2 or Tyreek?
I'd rather have Tyreek than Ladd. No hesitation. Rather have him than T. I'd have to think about Marv. I'd rather have Mike Evans, I think, than Tyreek.
And then at what? Because I know you were mentioning the tiers. So is it?
He's in the second one for me.
Well, I was gonna say, obviously, those first 5 guys.
Mhm.
I'm sure BTJ for you as well. Oh, and London, you said like you'd love to have as your wide receiver 1. So where
Yeah.
does it
Where do I drop
cut
the
off?
line
Is it just those next 2,
at wide receiver 1?
Neighbors and Brown?
I would. I mean, Neighbors if it comes down to it, I would take him as my 1. AJ Brown, I would take as my 1, and I think the McConkey, Hill, Evans, Higgins, JSN, I'd want those guys as my 2.
It's
Marv.
weird. Like I wouldn't want Ladd or T as my wide receiver 1, but if for whatever reason I just messed up bad,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd rather have Ladd, Marv. Like if that's my wide receiver 1, I'd rather have that. But if it's my wide receiver 2, give me Tyreek, and I'll take a chance on Tyreek.
Yeah,
Because if he's fine, he's going to give you top.
he has the potential to be a 1.
Yeah.
You kind of have to call your shot. So moving on, we talked about Marv a lot.
Mhm.
Don't really think we need to talk about him much. We're definitely expecting Cardinals to be better? Question mark?
Are we?
I don't know. Like
No changes, right? You said
no
that.
changes, no changes to the coaching staff. Just we need more consistency. I think more chemistry. Like you said, he was a rookie last year, so hopefully just another year of training camp, another year with Kyler. Kind of I want to just force feed him targets. I think that's what
Yeah,
I want to see a little more of that.
I'm putting my chips on that. Like we did our tight end rankings. I still had McBride at 3. I think reason being I thought McBride might take an uptick in touchdowns, but I'm hoping Marv steals some of those targets
In between.
Yeah.
The in between the 20s.
So
touches.
I think they can kind of even it out.
Yeah. I just feel like I want to see him and them do well for whatever reason.
I mean, he also it was week 2.
Marv?
Yeah. What was the game?
Oh, he had an amazing game versus the Rams.
Was that week 2?
Yeah, he didn't have that many catches. I think he had like 4 catches, but 2 of them were touchdowns. Just great. I mean, he made a bunch of spectacular catches, and like he's a big body in the red zone.
He's capable.
Yeah, super capable. So just want to see more from Marv.
Mm-hmm.
Then going into Mike Evans, JSN. Probably should talk about JSN. I think we have them ranked a little bit lower than I would want to say most of the fantasy community. For me, it's just I brought up Ken Walker and how I'm excited about that running attack in Seattle with Kubiak, but I just think Darnold, I mean, not to say that Geno and Darnold are much different. I think last year might have been an outlier year for Darnold. You know, we were looking at his Football Reference the other day and just the difference in production from all of his years. And maybe he was in a shitty situation in Carolina, only 1 year in Minnesota. So it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm just not excited about that passing attack. Talk about guys I'd rather have. Every name we've mentioned so far, I'd rather have over JSN, which might be a hot take because he finished as a top 10 guy last year. And then guys that we haven't even talked about yet, Garrett Wilson, shout out, got the jersey on. Thank you, Matt. Terry, I talked about Terry. It'd be a question between him and JSN.
Yeah, with JSN, it's another football kind of just roster construction from an NFL standpoint, like the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think where JSN, when he was a wide receiver 2 last year, I think he was great. Like having DK there.
He was a 2, but like he took the 1 away from him midway through the year.
But DK was still getting the top corner. DK was getting shadowed.
Yeah.
DK was getting I mean, when he played the Niners, we had Ward on him. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember telling you, I was just like, his career against this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like DK was still getting the number 1 coverage corner. So I feel like that gave JSN some freedom.
So now it's time for him to show out against the top guy.
Which I don't know if he's capable. Like I said, I loved him as a wide receiver 2 on my team I'm rooting for, but now he's the top guy. I mean, they lost Lockett, lost DK, they lost Fant, they lost all their top receiving guys. Who is their
Cup?
No.
Tight end?
Yeah.
They drafted a rookie, I think.
Okay.
I forget his name.
I'm not showing our knowledge here. Sorry, Seattle. I don't like you anyway. Yeah, with Cup there, that's interesting. Just like I asked you guys during the mock, like, because I took him in our off-camera mock. I was just like, he's got to have some juice left, right?
Like, what did we see from last year going to this year that would make us think that? That's it. That's my only thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not excited about their passing attack, and I just think the running game might be shit too. But I just know historically, with that scheme, supported good running backs.
Yeah, if you're drafting Cup, it's because you got like 2021 on your mind or something like that.
Right.
You saw what he did at his peak.
Yep.
And you mentioned, I think it could just been he was a beneficiary of having Stafford as his quarterback.
Yeah.
Stafford feeds his guys.
Yeah, the system for sure. I mean, he was great, but I think his time has come. So going into the next guys here, we talked about Terry. We talked about Garrett Wilson a lot. I don't know if I'm delusional at this point. I probably am, but he's one of my favorite players. And
Terry? Oh, Garrett
Wilson. Reconnecting with his college quarterback at Ohio State. So hopefully they have something going there. You know, we talked about Fields supporting DJ Moore as a wide receiver 1. I think he was a wide receiver 5 overall in 2023. So it's possible. Talk about a guy who gets the best corner every week. It's for sure going to be Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, the amount of times we had to hear you say that.
It's true.
He's got Christian Gonzalez.
He's got the guy on the Titans, Snead.
And then I would always be like, at what point do you just say, I'm better? Feed me the rock.
I think I don't know. I want Garrett Wilson again as my 2. I think last year I was a little overzealous, and maybe the fantasy community was a little overzealous about drafting him in that wide receiver. He's probably going in the AJ Brown territory right now, of just like right there is the end of the top 10.
I want to be in on Garrett.
He was good like with Rodgers before Adams got there. He started off the season pretty slow, and then he had a couple. They just kept going with the targets. I think the game in London or one of the international games.
They lost.
He just broke out and had, I want to say, like 20 targets or something insane. So we might see something like that again this year, and hopefully with the connection with Fields, and he's the only guy there. I just expect good things from him. And as my wide receiver 2, I'd love that.
I'm looking at DJ Moore's 2023 season.
Mm-hmm.
He had 136 targets, so it's not as low as Terry.
Yeah,
but it's
not a lot.
I mean, when you look at the top 10-ish guys, it's near the lower end. Also, when you look at the other guys, 4 guys around him finished with double-digit touchdowns. He had 8, so it's not like he only had 6.
DJ Moore had 8?
Yeah. So 136 targets.
He had one game with 3 that year. It's like Monday night against Washington.
He had like 50 points.
That's insane.
I remember.
He only had 8, but 3 in that one game.
So if you can get 136 targets, 96 catches, 8 touchdowns from Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Also 1,300. He had a good amount of yards.
1,300 yards. Yeah, Wilson, we just checked his reference the other day, and it's pretty much been 1,000 to 1,100.
1,101, 1,103
for his first 3 years. So a lot of that coming from just a lot of targets, but yeah, maybe they rekindle something from Ohio State and Wilson becomes a wide receiver 1.
But I bring that up because I think Garrett Wilson is more talented.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. Of course.
I mean, obviously it depends, I can't go. Who was their coach then? Was it, what was the guy's name?
Matt Nagy. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or Eberflus, maybe? Or
Eberflus was there.
Maybe Nagy was the coordinator and Eberflus was the coach, or vice versa. Something like that.
I think Nagy was the
coach.
I think he was there with the double doink.
Oh,
when the Bears made playoffs. But anywho, I bring that up because I think Garrett Wilson, I think he's more talented. I think he's probably bigger I think DJ Moore's on the smaller end.
No. I think DJ Moore is a bigger.
Is he?
We'll vet that. You vet that while I bring up these last few names. So Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, Devontae Smith, Xavier Worthy, DJ Moore, and Jameson Williams. We talked about a lot of these guys already. Devontae Smith is kind of there. He's a nice guy to be able to throw in your flex, I would think.
I like Devontae.
Yeah. And then DK Metcalf. Gross. Could get a lot of targets, but
they're the same height, by the way.
Really? I can see DJ Moore's not that tall, but Garrett Wilson's pretty small.
They're 6. They're each 6 foot.
Okay, and then just some other guys we wanted to bring up. T. McMill, our boy on the Panthers.
Yep.
Should be, would you want him as your wide receiver too? How about that question? Happy about that? No? Rather have him as a flex guy?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Wide receiver 3 for me.
Zay Flowers, Jalen Waddle. Chris Olave, we really haven't talked about that much. I am absolutely out on everyone on the Saints. Kamara.
Never 20-point game?
Never had a 20-point game.
Never had a 20-point game. It's insane.
Yeah, I'm good. I used to like you, Olave, but it's more, well, he's one concussion away from retiring. I don't like this offense at all. And I'd rather have someone else. I don't know. Zay Flowers, Jalen Waddle, Rashee Rice. So I texted in the group chat this morning. I was like, can we just get this suspension already and figure out where everybody's going to be going or what's going on here?
That.
But if he's out 8 weeks, I don't know. You don't want to use a top 5 round pick on this guy. You'd rather have some, because if you're planning to get him as like an early pick or whatever, as try and get some value on him, because when he's healthy, he's one of the top guys for sure. We've seen that with Mahomes. He's kind of as Kelsey kind of makes his way out, he's been kind of making his way in as kind of the short intermediate guy. But shit, if he has an 8-week suspension and you're looking at your fantasy record and you're 3-5 when he comes back, it's like, how much is that really going to help you?
Yeah, I'm out.
I don't know. And then Mecca Egbuka for the Bucks. We've talked about him a lot.
Him and Tet are the same for me.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, once again, we talk about rookies and them breaking out, like things that we expect immediately. Just names to look at, throw them at, maybe take a shot as go get one of these guys as your wide receiver 3, because we saw
3 for sure. Yeah,
we saw BTJ last year. He was going maybe around where Egbuka's going, and he was a top 5 receiver. So just if you don't like some of those names that.
What did you have already when you drafted BTJ?
Oh man, put me on the spot. I know I had Garrett Wilson as my wide receiver 1. I think my second was.
He says that he loves him and he traded him.
Let me quickly pull this up real quick.
Did you have DK?
Yes, that's who it was. So I had Garrett Wilson, I had DK, and then I had Pickens, George Pickens, gross, and BTJ was my 4th receiver.
Yeah, so I think with Egbuka and Team
You take the shot as your wide receiver 3 and go get him before someone else does.
I think it also wide receiver 3, yes, but for I don't really see them in the wide receiver 2. But I was going to say just
as you probably
roster
shouldn't.
construction as well. Like if you have a Chase,
Mm-hmm.
I mean Chase is like freaking 1.5 wide receivers damn near.
Yeah, I think that's where you like maybe the. It's off my head. Like maybe, I think I got BTJ in round 9, so maybe 7, 8, 9, where you like these guys as an upside play versus someone else lame like. I should try and think of someone off the top of my head, like Jalen Waddle, or like what are some other names here? Let me pull it up real quick. Juwan Jennings, Jaden Reed, George Pickens, Michael Pittman. Like I'd rather have the rookies than those guys. Just try and take a shot where maybe they might not give you some production right away as your wide receiver 3. You could throw them on your bench for a few weeks, and maybe by week 4, they're integrated in the offense and looking good.
I'm looking at ADP on Sleeper.
I would guess that. Who would I guess would be going higher? There's been a lot of hype on Egbuka, but I think McMillan or the guy from the Panthers will be going higher.
So, depending on 10 or 12 team leagues, it's either 5th or 6th round. T. McMill has a 60 on the dot.
Mm-hmm.
And Egbuka is lower. Egbuka he's under Golden on the Packers. Egbuka's at 113. So that's like we were just saying, if you can get him in the 10th round, you should at that point have 2 wide receivers. I hope you do.
Yep.
I think that's a great value because Godwin's going to be out. Evans is getting old. We didn't bring up Evans, or I know we brought him up, but we didn't talk about him that much. I do think he's still going to be a touchdown merchant.
I think he's going to be
in the red zone.
Reliable.
In the red zone, big target. He's always been a touchdown guy. Where I think Egbuka could be the guy like doing more of the down the field work. So if you can get him where his ADP is and all the hype that we've been hearing, Baker loves him.
Right.
I think that's a great value at 113.
I agree.
As opposed to T. McMill 5 rounds ahead of him.
Yeah, that seems hefty. 6th round might be your wide receiver 2 in that price. So
yeah,
I don't know if I'm in on that.
But I'm not willing to take the like they got him going in the same round as Devontae Smith, Xavier Worthy,
rather of him,
Jameson Williams,
rather of him.
So yeah,
well there you go. We just talked ourselves out of him.
Yeah, I mean for that round, I mean this is according to Sleeper. Give me Egbuka.
Sure.
All day. You got a better quarterback, better just offense as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me that for sure. And there's a lot of guys in Carolina.
A lot of weird guys.
A lot of guys.
They got Coker, Thielen still there.
They brought in Hunter Renfrow.
Oh, wait, no. Is Thielen still there?
Thielen's still there.
Okay.
Brought in Hunter Renfrow. Like, there's a lot of guys there that I don't know.
Shout out the Panthers. Shout out Bryce Young.
Shout out Chupa.
He was sick for you last year. All right, that's all we got. Next, we got a mock draft. Our next episode will be, I don't know which one we're going to do yet. We'll leave you guys for a little cliffhanger. What style?
Same. I think we're still going to do the same format.
I was thinking like standard versus super flex or whatever.
Oh, I'm stupid. I thought you said trivia.
Trivia is next. Trivia, we're going to do some trivia. Our first episode on the channel was the AFC North fantasy draft. So we're going to do all the divisions. We're going to plan to do a couple of those and release those periodically. So
for the draft, I think we should do Superflex just because
sure,
that's going to be what we will be drafting. And what did we do a 10 or 12? We did a 10 team.
We did
standard,
10
one
team
quarterback,
standard.
half PPR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said we do a super flex.
Cool.
Get a little bit more prepared for our draft, which is coming up.
Coming up. Couple weeks.
Next week.
Next week.
Next week we leave.
Yep.
So
it's time. That's all we got. Thank you everyone who's been watching, who's subscribing.
Another
Give us some
shout out.
fucking ideas for the wall. Someone tell me what to put right here.
New board bet coming.
Yep. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver 1.
Peace.